Chapter 512. The operator behind online celebrity peeler accounts was the person who had once defamed Xiangyi to gain popularity. Ever since he discovered that marketing accounts could be monetized through traffic, he had applied for several accounts. At first, he didn't operate very well, and because he didn't know the rules, he was reported to have his account banned several times. Later on, he got the hang of it and slowly built up the account. He even signed a contract with a professional public relations company. The man in front of the screen was unshaven. His computer, tablet, and phone screens were all different. 2 under 1 roof was his main focus. When he saw the trending topic of 10 seconds down, he began typing furiously. The vase fairy gave up her career as a celebrity and went to live stream to earn money? She's too lowly. Halfway through his typing, the man scratched his head in annoyance, thinking about how the public opinion on the internet had been trending in a positive direction recently. He tapped on the table anxiously, and when he saw a certain streamer on another screen who was trying his best to sell goods, he suddenly thought of a good idea. The man deleted all the words he had just typed and replaced them with new content. Online celebrity peeler accounts v. Sister Yi's live stream was taken down in 10 seconds. On the other hand, a certain top streamer, Yen Kai Kai, has been getting worse and worse recently. If Sister Yi were to live stream, these live streamers would probably be starving. This account had a lot of fans to begin with, and with such provocative content, Yen Kai Kai's fans were the first to rush to the battlefield. Are you crazy? Some time ago, there was a discount on e-commerce, so sales were high. Now, sales are slowly falling. This is a normal market trend, okay? Take away our Kai Kai. We can't compare to celebrities, but live streamers like Kai Kai are the top streamers, arms akimbo. I'm laughing so hard. Kai Kai is so lucky to have been trampled on by the A-list actress Xiangyi. Are you in such a hurry to earn money to go home and visit your mother's grave? As the top live stream streamer, Yen Kai Kai had a steady stream of viewers every day and had a group of loyal fans. When they saw Yen Kai Kai being trampled on, they subconsciously vented their resentment on Xiangyi. Other marketing accounts followed suit and used this as a starting point to successfully pit the relationship between Xiangyi and the live streamer against each other. Nowadays, the fans of streamers who sell goods can't be underestimated. Moreover, the fans buy things in the live broadcast room every day. In addition to selling goods, the streamer will also chat a little. After a long time, the relationship with the streamer is like a friend. Most people scoffed when they saw celebrities being defamed, thinking that it was just boring gossip. But seeing his friend being belittled, how could he bear it? Intolerable. All the major marketing accounts fell into a chaotic battle. Both sides clung to their own views and quarreled fiercely. Back in the living room, Li Jianyu suddenly cued Xiangyi. Sister Yi, someone is looking for you. She was puzzled. May I ask who you are? Li Jianyu coughed. Yen Kai Kai, he's a streamer. He wants to get to know you. The fans of 2 under 1 roof and Yen Kai Kai basically didn't overlap. Whether it was from the perspective of interests or public opinion, Li Jianyu felt that it was better to speak openly. Yen Kai Kai also started a live broadcast. Both parties connected their microphones and started a video call. Hello, Sister Yi. Hello, Shi Sui. Hello, Teacher Tian. Yen Kai Kai had a lively and cheerful personality, so he took the initiative to greet them. I'm Yen Kai Kai, you can call me Kai Kai. This scene provoked Yen Kai Kai's fans, who left angry comments. Kai Kai, blink if you're threatened. Chapter 513. Sobi, Kai Kai is so pitiful. Is he being forced to connect to the mic? So what if he's rich? Can he do whatever he wants just because he's rich? Why is he bullying us like this? The fans were prejudiced and thought that Yen Kai Kai had been forced to connect to the mic, so they vented all their anger. Yen Kai Kai's assistant was constantly paying attention to the comments, and he would also glance at the comments from time to time. Seeing that the bullet screen was filled with such angry comments, Yen Kai Kai hurriedly explained with a smile. Sister Yi kidnapped me? Oh my God, is there such a good thing? I'm afraid that Sister Yi's family will go bankrupt, haha. Yen Kai Kai used to be a foodie livestream streamer, and unlike other live streamers who couldn't eat, he really had a huge appetite. His ability to eat was a favorite meme of his fans. With him adjusting the atmosphere, the fans calmed down a little. Li Jianyu was a little worried, afraid that Xiangyi wouldn't be able to handle Yen Kai Kai's awkward silence, so he frantically gestured to Shi Sui, telling him to get ready for an emergency. Unexpectedly, not only did Xiangyi manage to handle it, she even did it beautifully. Bankrupt my family? That might be a little difficult. Xiangyi counted for him seriously. I have dozens of little black pigs, more than 20 chickens, more than a dozen ducks and geese. The more serious she was, the cuter the contrast. The audience was tickled, and the comments in the two live streams were visibly harmonious. Yen Kai Kai's assistant, Guan Guan, was a lively girl. Hearing this, she said, "You can't move aside, or else you'll be like a pig in a granary." Yen Kai Kai pretended to be angry. "Guan Guan, you can't be like this. Our friendship is coming to an end." Guan Guan winked at him. When friendship comes to an end, can the sparks of love be ignited? Yen Kai Kai suddenly blushed and stuttered, unable to speak. The two had worked together for a long time and were obviously in love with each other. However, Yen Kai Kai was thin-skinned when it came to relationships, so the two didn't break the ice. Hence, Guan Guan flirted with him on a daily basis, which made Yen Kai Kai shy. Their interactions were particularly popular with the fans. Yen Kai Kai and the others were mature streamers, and they quickly stabilized the situation. Xiangyi naturally chatted with them. Tianji even came over to tell a joke. Shi Sui stood aside and gazed at Xiangyi with a smile. This time, it could be said that he had used facts to shatter the rumors. Xiangyi and Yen Kai Kai were not on bad terms. The audience gradually relaxed. From time to time, they would laugh in front of the screen. On the other side, in the glass greenhouse, Qin Wanyan paced back and forth anxiously. When Ling Yi came over, she threw a barrage of questions at him. "Ling Yi, are you crazy? Do you know the consequences of not completing the mission?" "I know, Sister Wanyan." Ling Yi lowered his head meekly like a stray cat on a rainy day. "Why are you angry? Did I do something wrong?" Under her drooping eyelashes, she was laughing at herself. "I've always been a lunatic." Qin Wanyan said angrily, "Didn't you say that joining two under one roof would help my career? But look at what the netizens are saying about me on the internet." Ling Yi said innocently, "Sister Wanyan, I didn't know about the Spring Flower Fund." Qin Wanyan choked. Her eyes darted around, and she felt very guilty. Indeed, Ms. Tsen was not introduced to her by Ling Yi. She was the one who contacted her. She said weakly, "So are you blaming me for messing things up? How could you do that?" Chapter 5:14. Ling Yi covered his mouth with his finger and coughed a few times. I am sorry. I will do my best to help you. Sister, please calm down. It's not good for your health if you get angry." The more he accepted it, the more Qin Wanyan despised him. Qin Wanyan had a sense of superiority in front of Ling Yi. She felt that Ling Yi was like an object that existed for her. So what if she scolded him? If she couldn't complete her mission, then Ling Yi would be trapped here for the rest of his life. Thinking of this, Qin Wanyan threatened, "Little brother, if I don't have a good life, then everyone can forget about it. So, can you be more sensible?" The young man nodded. "I will. I will definitely think of a way to make Sister Wanyan popular." "But, Sister, you..." He wanted to say something but stopped. Qin Wanyan thought she was smart. After giving him a slap, she quickly gave him a sweet date. She said softly, "Ling Yi, if you have something to say, just say it. I treat you like my own little brother." Ling Yi looked up. "Sister Wanyan, can you listen to me in the future? I won't harm you, but sister's luck isn't too good. That's why so many accidents have happened." He was being tactful and didn't directly say that Qin Wanyan's brain wasn't good. Qin Wanyan believed him and felt that he made a lot of sense. Yes, she was just unlucky this time. Who would have thought that Miss Tsun would fail so quickly? She even caused her to be slandered by netizens. If she had listened to Ling Yi and played the Suona, although it was a little old-fashioned, she would have been able to gain fans. Qin Wanyan regretted it. She quickly said, "Okay, then I will listen to you in the future. Little brother, you must help me." After talking nicely for a long time, Qin Wanyan finally returned to the living room with a dry mouth and tried to get some camera time. However, as soon as she stepped out of the glass greenhouse, she was stopped by the staff. "Sorry, Miss Qin, you can't enter the live broadcast area." Qin Wanyan was confused. "Why? I'm today's guest. This is a notice from the production team. We hope you won't make things difficult for us. Otherwise, we will have to call the bodyguards." Xiangyi's brothers were very supportive. They arranged 10 bodyguards for her and now they were taking shifts in the manor every day. Qin Wanyan thought of something, and her expression changed drastically. "Is this Xiangyi's doing? Did she purposely not let me participate? Get out of my way, I'm going to reason with her." On what basis? What right did that fool have to suppress her? The staff refused to budge. "Miss Qin, if you continue to be unreasonable, I'll really have to take action." "Qin Wanyan, do you believe that I'll expose you on the internet? Let the netizens know how weird your production team is. How dare they not allow guests to participate in the recording?" She kept talking. The staff member was really annoyed and interrupted her directly. "It's not Sister E. It's Teacher Tian." Qin Wanyan was stunned. The staff said angrily, "Teacher Tian said that you're not allowed to record. He said that you're embarrassing the sect." She even secretly apologized to Sister E and Shering Di. "No, he's my master. How could he treat me like this?" Qin Wanyan was extremely flustered. She despised Tianji for being a country bumpkin, but without him, she was nothing. The staff member looked at her with pity. "Teacher Tian also said that his ability is limited and he can't teach you. Miss Qin, you are no longer Teacher Tian's disciple." Chapter 5:15. Boom. Like a bolt from the blue, Qin Wanyan's confidence was completely destroyed at this moment. How could this be? She was dumbfounded, completely unwilling to accept this reality. Teacher Tian clearly liked the Suona she played so much. Qin Wanyan felt a chill run down her spine. She felt like she had been kicked into a quagmire before she could climb to the top of the clouds. Not far behind her, Ling Yi watched this scene calmly. The reason why Tianji accepted Qin Wanyan as his disciple was not only because Qin Wanyan exchanged for the Suona skill card from the system, but also because he used a small tool. The tool was a reward he received after completing a mission in another world. It was not very useful, but it had a bewitching effect. He was just adding fuel to the fire. If Qin Wanyan let nature take its course and did not cause any trouble, Tianji would not think too much even if he noticed something unusual. Instead, he would guide and train Qin Wanyan well and do his best to fight for resources for this disciple of his. This could be seen from the fact that he was willing to bring Qin Wanyan to participate in the program. However, Qin Wanyan's performance was not just passable, it was terrible. Ling Ye's best outcome was that Tianji would be disappointed in Qin Wanyan and ignore her for a while. This would hinder Qin Wanyan from completing the mission quickly. He did not expect Tianji to be so ruthless. This was good too. If Qin Wanyan could not complete her mission, he could continue to stay in this world. "I want to see my master. Get out of the way. Get lost." Qin Wanyan was so agitated that she wanted to play the Suona in front of Tianji again. However, the staff had long disliked her. "Please, our Sister E is not someone you can step on as you please." He called the bodyguards and dragged Qin Wanyan away. Qin Wanyan looked so beautiful when she came, but when she was dragged away, she was in a sorry state. "No. You can't do this." Her cries gradually faded away, but no one sympathized with her. The sound insulation in the living room was excellent. Not a single sound could be heard from outside. After a short conversation, both sides worked together to clarify the groundless rumors. Yen Kaikai's live stream traffic increased greatly. It could be said that he had profited from taking the initiative to show goodwill. He was currently the well-deserved number one among the live streamers who were carrying goods. Second only to Yen Kai was Hao Han, who was always ridiculed as number two. The two of them were competitors, and their popularity was usually very close. Moreover, Hao Han had recently obtained a lot of goods at low prices, and it seemed to be a step ahead of Yen Kai. Of course, Vast C Team was not willing to see Yen Kai become popular. They reacted very quickly and soon arranged the Water Army to lead the rhythm. I'm Sister Yi's fan. There's a rumor that she's trying to ride on Sister Yi's popularity. Previously, I bought fake goods from Yen Kai's livestream. My heart aches for our Sister Yi. I still have to talk to him. I really can't stand Yen Kai's livestream. It's nothing more than a different form of TV shopping. Xiangyi and Shengdi's livestream variety show is still better, plus, the vast livestream style is also good. Public opinion seemed to be as quiet as the surface of the sea, but in fact, undercurrents were surging and spreading on the internet. It's getting late, everyone can start preparing dinner. Li Jianyu smiled as he handed out mission cards to everyone. Everyone had one except for Xiangyi. The girl looked around and asked in confusion, "Where's mine?" "Sister Yi, you have a special mission today," Li Jianyu deliberately teased her. "Act cute and I'll tell you." Chapter 5:16. As soon as he said that, the live stream became lively. "Son, how long have you been in bed?" "TSK. Unfilial son, how can you talk to Sister E like that? How can you have such shameless thoughts? Isn't it just Sister E acting coquettishly? Who wants to see it?" Super soft voice. "Hurry up, I want to see it, I want to see it." Hearing the request to act cute, Xiangyi was stunned. Before she could react, Ruan Qing had already put on a pair of cat ears on her head. I haven't agreed yet," Xiangyi protested. Ruan Qing smiled and stroked her head. "It's pretty, isn't it?" She looked at Shi Sui. The young best actor chuckled softly and murmured, Xiangyi retracted her hand that was about to remove the cat ears. Since her boyfriend likes to see it, I'll let him see it." Xiangyi's transmigration missions were all very rushed and she rarely paid attention to other people's relationships. Her experience in this area was almost blank. However, just because it was blank didn't mean it was completely blank. She had once witnessed the love story between a support character and several of her husbands in a female-dominated world. She doted on her husband very much. Subconsciously, Xiangyi felt that her man had to be pampered and doted on. The girl put on the cat ears and her milky white face was expressionless. Her temperament was as calm as ever, but she was simply adorable. She tilted her head and asked, "What does it mean to act cute?" This action alone was enough to make the live stream explode. Why are you so cute? Our baby doesn't need to act cute. She doesn't need to. She's naturally cute. Oh my God, her face, her voice, and her cat ears. I'm a girl, but I'm also lusting after Sister Yi's body. Ruan Qing smiled faintly and said, "You can do whatever you want." Li Jianyu deliberately mischievously and pretended to be very serious. "You're not cute at all right now." Xiangyi frowned in distress. "Can't I cook or slaughter pigs?" Why did he give me such a difficult question? It was simply out of his league. "Then, I'll teach you the essence of WoW." The girl was very serious. She took out the secret manual that her third brother had taught her. First, you have to make 2 sounds. Remember to drag it out. Then, you have to change your tone. You have to make it sound like a wave. The young girl's voice was gentle and soft. She was very patient. After explaining in detail, she asked, "Did I make it clear? Do you want me to repeat it?" Subconsciously, she moved closer to the camera. On the netizen screens, her fair and flawless face was magnified. Netizens. F***CK. Who could withstand this? Yeah. I'm dead. I'm gone. Sister E must have grown up eating Cody. Oh my god, I'm going to faint. Little Vase, oh no, I announce that from today onwards, Sister E is my favorite little baby. At this moment, countless fans kowtowed to the beauty of the world until they were satisfied. Countless haters immediately put down their keyboards and turned from haters to fans. At this moment, everyone's attention was on the dazzling girl. However, there were also fans of the untimely couple who were paying close attention to Shui's movements. Everyone watched as the handsome man picked up a glass of water and took a few sips. His clean and clear Adam's apple was particularly obvious as it bobbed up and down as he drank. There was a hint of abstinence in his abstinence. The girls under the microscope all came online. Cold water. He's drinking cold water, sisters. Chapter 517. Hey, can Shuringdi do it? He's only wearing cat ears and he's already drinking cold water. Should he take a cold shower next time? He can't. Next question. Ha 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 ha, it's okay. He can't, but Sister E can. Friendly reminder, your account will be banned if you drive too fast. Your reminder is too late. My sister's account has already been taken down. She's now speaking beautiful Chinese. Xiangyi seriously taught everyone the secret of wow. She raised her delicate chin proudly and gestured to Li Jianyu. You can speak now. Li Jianyu cleared his throat. No, it's not up to standard. I don't think it's cute enough. In the next second, Xiangyi raised her eyebrows. Say that again? The girl's invisible and powerful aura spread out, and even her soft and cute outfit couldn't offset it. Li Jianyu immediately gave in. Okay, Shaoli, I'll announce the mission card for you now. All of a sudden, the live stream was filled with people laughing and criticizing Li Jianyu for his lack of integrity. Online. The fake reviewers hired by Hao Han's team were still tirelessly stirring up trouble. Is it working? Hao Han hadn't started his live stream yet, but he kept refreshing Yan Kaikai's live stream, envious of his skyrocketing stats. The netizens these days have learned to be smart. It's not that easy to stir up conflicts. They're just a bunch of fools. Won't they believe you if you just lead them on? Hao Han snorted. There are some preliminary results. Some of Yan Kaikai's fans have gone to the live stream of Two Under One Roof to scold Xiangyi. But, what are you stuttering for? Hurry up and spit it out. The staff felt extremely aggrieved. Xiangyi's fans are too forgiving. Not only did they not take the bait, they even reported many accounts. The fake reviewers are even asking us to compensate them. Fake reviewers were now very mature. In addition to machine accounts, there were also artificial accounts. The operation of these accounts required money. For example, they could set up a group chat and assign tasks. The higher the level of the account, the longer it lasted, and the more posts it made, the more expensive it would be. The fake reviewers were also unable to voice their grievances. They had never seen such fans before. Let's not talk about veteran actors, but aren't the fans of popular celebrities nowadays all brainless? A single sentence could ignite a group of firecrackers. But the spicy tutu was simply amazing. They were either spamming, I won't be angry if others are angry, but no one will take my place if I'm angry. They were spamming pictures or short videos of Xiangyi's food. Many of the paid posters in their group chat stopped accepting orders and sent messages saying that they were either eating or ordering takeout. If this wasn't poison, then what was? Vast Han's team was speechless when they found out about this. They were about to persuade Vast Han to stop when his eyes lit up. Hey, why did Yan Kai suddenly go offline? Ha ha ha, did something happen to him? Good. It's best if you never start a live broadcast. The staff members looked at each other in silence. They were used to Hao Han's lack of manners. Suddenly, someone raised his phone weakly. I think I know what Yen Kai Kai is doing. The manor. Li Jianyu announced, "Thank you for the invitation from Nanqing Satellite TV. Today, Sister E, your task is to sell goods live. When Yen Kai Kai comes over for a meeting later, we'll help Nanqing's agricultural products together. At that time, the host of Nanqing Satellite TV will be on the mic with us." Vast Han and his team were speechless. "We were still criticizing you guys for not getting along. Why are you guys working together? Don't we have face?" Chapter 5:18. The live stream was in an uproar. Sister E was actually going to do a live stream with Yen Kai Kai, and it was even a collaboration with Nanqing TV. This was simply too amazing. How Han and his team were dumbfounded. Xiangyi and Yen Kai Kai actually got the resources that many celebrities and streamers yearned for but couldn't get? Yen Kai Kai must have spent money to pull some strings. Otherwise, why would they choose him and not me? How Han cursed. F***CK. Are the people of Nanqing TV blind? The staff member was rendered speechless. This was probably what they called incompetent rage. Yen Kai Kai was from Nanqing, which was also an important reason why Nanqing TV chose him to do the live stream. Originally, this resource was directly given to Xiangyi. The TV station saw that Xiangyi and Yen Kai Kai's live stream today and decided on this spot at the last minute. It was time for Yen Kai Kai to end his live stream. Once the two sides contacted each other, they happily agreed to come over and help with the live stream. Yen Kai Kai and the others arrived at the manor. Shi Sui, Tianji, and Ling Yi were doing a mission, and Xiangyi came to the door to welcome them. Yen Kai Kai got out of the car first. He was thinner in real life than in the live stream, and his skin was slightly darker. "Hello, Sister E." Yen Kai Kai greeted her warmly and didn't forget to go around to the other side to open the car door for Guan Guan. Guan Guan's face was pale, and she didn't look as energetic as when she started the live stream just now. She forced a smile at Xiangyi. "Hello, Sister E, I'm Spicy Tutu." "Hello." Xiangyi looked at Guan Guan. "Can I take your pulse?" Guan Guan was stunned. "Ha. Of course." Xiangyi raised her hand and reached for Guan Guan's wrist, accurately feeling her pulse. A moment later, Xiangyi retracted her hand. "I'm a little weak. Maybe I'm overtired. But don't worry, it's nothing serious. Come in and rest for a while." Yen Kai Kai frowned. "Why didn't you say that you weren't feeling well?" "I'll..." He paused in embarrassment. Guan Guan smiled and asked, "What will happen? Will you be worried about me?" Yen Kai Kai changed the subject. "Have a good rest later." When the audience saw this scene, they tacitly smiled in front of their screens. In the living room, while Yen Kai Kai was busy confirming the equipment for the live broadcast with the program team, Guan Guan was arranged by Xiangyi to sit on the couch by the floor-to-ceiling window. Hot water, a pillow, and a small blanket were all arranged. Xiangyi also brought an incense burner and lit a stick of incense. "This incense has a sleeping effect. Why don't you take a nap?" Xiangyi suggested. Guan Guan was used to working at a fast pace. Even though her menstrual cramps were severe, she subconsciously felt that resting was a sin. "I'm still in the middle of a live stream. How can I lie here? People need to rest when they're tired." Xiangyi tucked in the blanket for her. "I don't think the audience would like to watch the live broadcast where you work when you're sick and force yourself. And in life, who doesn't get tired? Viewers in the live stream, Sister E is so gentle cack. Come and listen to what Xiangyi has to say." "Oh my god, I suddenly understand why Two Under One Roof is so popular. It's because it's realistic enough, but not cruel enough." With just a few words, Guan Guan's anxious mood calmed down. The fragrance of incense filled the air, like the smell of fir trees on a snowy day, mixed with a faint smell of Chinese medicine. Guan Guan fell asleep unknowingly. When she woke up, there was a thermos flask in front of her. She unscrewed it to find a cup of brown sugar ginger tea inside. She suddenly felt a lump in her throat. Chapter 519. The live stream industry was very popular, but being a streamer wasn't easy. It was the norm in the industry to treat women like men and men like beasts. In contrast to the high-intensity work, there was an invisible pressure on one's mind. It couldn't be stopped. Guan Guan understood that Xiangyi must have known that she was feeling unwell from the moment she took her pulse. That was why she told her to rest. However, she didn't take credit for it and instead just showed her concern. She maintained a sense of propriety and distance. After being exhausted for so long, she really couldn't resist being treated gently all of a sudden. Guan Guan sniffed and drank a mouthful of the steaming brown sugar ginger tea. She felt her body and heart warm up along with it. When she first entered, she claimed to be Spicy Tutu out of politeness. But now, Guan Guan had truly become a fan of Xiangyi from the bottom of her heart. She was extremely loyal. Hao Han was displeased with the resources that Yan Kai Kai had received, so he quickly spent money to get his team to buy another round of marketing. This time, he skipped over the fake reviewers and went straight to the marketing accounts. Online celebrity skinning accounts was one of them. Xiangyi and Yan Kai Kai's live stream had yet to officially begin, but articles criticizing the two of them were already flying all over the internet. Our Kai Kai is the best in marketing. Xiangyi is nothing. Don't drag our Kai Kai down. Sister E is so outstanding, why is she doing a live stream with Yan Kai Kai? She's so lowly, she's dragging down Sister Yi's status. No way, right? Is there anyone who doesn't know that the data in Yan Kai Kai's live stream is fake? Their live stream today is definitely going to fail. What's there to sell about agricultural products? Why don't you watch Hao Han's live stream tonight? Today is e-commerce foodie day, there's a lot of delicious food in his live stream. Compared to Yan Kai Kai, Hao Han was very willing to spend money on marketing, and his live stream immediately became popular. In addition, he had posted a preview of tonight's live stream, and many popular snacks were included. For example, sugarless milk tea, spicy crayfish, strawberry biscuits, and so on. Many netizens left comments under the preview, saying that they would definitely lock down Hao Han's live stream tonight. In addition, some netizens were influenced by the marketing accounts, and the comments below were all criticizing Xiangyi and Yan Kai Kai's live stream. It was fine to sell other things, but agricultural products? There was no way to sell things like rice, millet, green beans, and sesame seeds. The hour hand pointed to 6:59. The live stream of Two Under One Roof remained open, and so did Yan Kai Kai. 7:00 clock sharp. Yan Kai Kai shouted at the top of his voice, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is Kai Kai. The live stream is about to start. Quickly share the link to the live stream on Weibo and WeChat Moments. Beside me is our Sister E, Xiangyi. Sister E, come and say hello to everyone." Xiangyi sat upright and still. She was not nervous at all. She calmly waved at the camera. "Hello everyone, I'm Xiangyi. It's been a long day. Have you had dinner yet?" There were so many comments in the live stream that it was dizzying. "Did you hear that? My wife cares about me. Wifey, I ate it already, kiss 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 kiss. I'm coming, I've already chopped off my left hand yesterday and I'm preparing to chop off my right hand, dog head. Oh wow, these two together actually look like a couple. Guan Guan, I heard someone is courting death. Sure sway, this woman is mine, got it." At the same time, Hao Han's live stream had also started. He thought that since he had spent so much money, there should be some effect, right? Hence, he secretly gestured to the staff to show him the data. Chapter 520. The staff member hesitated, not knowing if he should show it to him. Hao Han was an impatient person and urged him again. The staff member had no choice but to show him the data. On the 3 tablets were the data of the 3 live stream rooms. The comparison of the number of viewers online was extremely stark. Hao Han's live stream, 3492051. Yan Kai Kai's live stream, 5847329. Two Under One Roof's live stream, 8542245. How Han was speechless. Did Yen Kai Kai buy the data? He must have, right? Otherwise, how can the data be twice as fast as mine? What's wrong with the netizens? Didn't we agree to watch my live stream? Why are all of them watching Yen Kai Kai and Tu under one roof? Thinking about how he had spent so much money but didn't even get a response, how Han was so angry that he shut himself up on the spot. Xiangyi and Yen Kai Kai didn't know about how Han's little tricks. The two of them cooperated and began to show the products that they would be carrying today. Dear viewers, the first treasure we recommend tonight is Nanqing's Red Heart Sweet Potato. This is a new variety cultivated by the Nanqing Academy of Agricultural Sciences. Not only is it delicious, but it's also healthy. We fought for a very discounted price. The original price was 9 yuan per caddy, but today in our live stream, 5 caddies are 39 yuan per caddy. We're also giving away 2 caddies of White Heart Sweet Potato, which has a softer texture. The unit price is equivalent to 1 caddy. Usually, Guan Guan would act as an assistant and calculate the price for Yen Kai Kai in advance. Today, they had changed partners at the last minute and the two of them didn't have time to get along. Yen Kai Kai's heart was in his mouth and sweat appeared on his forehead. His mind was racing as he tried to think of a way to smooth things over. However, he heard a gentle voice in his ear. 7 yuan. Yen Kai Kai was stunned for a second before he quickly said, "Wow! This price is really affordable. Let's do it." Right, Guan? Ahem, Sister E. Although Yen Kai Kai was a mature livestream host, habits were really powerful. Despite his rich experience, he still couldn't help but blabber. Xiangyi said calmly, "Yes, sweet potatoes can be steamed or cooked with porridge. It's also a good choice to make carrot sweet potatoes or stir-fried sweet potato puree. If you can afford it, you can also add some raisins, nuts, or something." Yen Kai Kai. What kind of godly partner was this? He was almost moved to tears. Sister E was so reliable. Inexplicably, Yen Kai Kai was affected. He calmed down and acted like a professional streamer. Regarding the Red Heart Sweet Potato, it's actually related to our Nanqing's poverty alleviation. Let's connect to Nanqing TV. Beep. The live broadcast room and Nanqing Satellite TV were connected successfully. The host smiled and said, "Xiangyi, Yen Kai Kai, hello. Today's cooperation is the first time for our Nanqing Satellite TV. This time, we invited 2 spokespersons to help with the online sales of our agricultural products. First, let's listen to the story behind poverty. Nanqing Satellite TV has changed the style of traditional media. Each agricultural product is accompanied by a short video of tens of seconds. It is not the kind of agony style, but the production is vivid and interesting, watching the belly. The live stream continued in an orderly manner. Next, we recommend Xiaomi. Millet is good for the stomach when used to make porridge. It can be cooked together with pumpkin. This product is amazing. It's black sesame. Black sesame is fried and sealed. Eat a small handful every day. It has a certain hair care effect. Coupled with a funny short video of Nanqing Satellite TV, the netizens in the live broadcast room watched with relish and couldn't stop buying. Some netizens couldn't help but exclaim, "This is simply like announcing the name of a dish." Sister E is announcing the recipe. Chapter 521. In the living room. Xiangyi and Yen Kai Kai were doing a live stream. Guan Guan stood at the side and watched as the staff uploaded links and gave out coupons. In the kitchen, the 3 men were preparing dinner. Tianji showed off his skills by making some duck soup. Shi Sui prepared a few cold dishes in an unhurried manner. Ling Yi helped her by choosing vegetables and cutting them into chunks. Through the half-closed door, he could hear the conversation between Xiangyi and Yen Kai Kai in the living room. Although it was just a simple collaboration, he actually felt a little envious of Yen Kai Kai. Even if he knew that she didn't belong to him, his possessiveness was still strong and impulsive. On the other hand, Shi Sui was unruffled as he mixed the candied tomatoes, appearing elegant, noble, and indifferent. Ling Yi couldn't help but curse in his heart. Does he really like Xiangyi? How can he be so indifferent to her? Doesn't he have any possessiveness and desire to control Xiangyi? As if sensing Ling Ye's gaze, the young best actor turned his face and asked with a deep gaze, "Are the vegetables ready?" Ling Yi said, "Yes, I've watered them." Shi Sui nodded and said, "Thank you." Ling Yi handed the vegetables over and saw that Shi Sui was leisurely preparing to boil the vegetables. He couldn't help but ask, "Mr. Shi, my sister is doing a live stream with another man." "So?" Ling Yi choked and said, "Nothing, I just feel that you don't seem to care much about my sister." Shi Sui slowly put on an apron and asked, "What do you think is carrying?" Ling Yi lowered his thick and long eyelashes, and his beautiful and delicate face was gentle. "I don't know." In fact, he already had an answer in his heart. It was possessiveness. Everyone's understanding may be different, but at the very least, caring shouldn't be a hindrance to the other party. It's not restricting the other party from making friends or restricting the other party's freedom. Shi Sui's words stunned Ling Yi. It also won the strong approval of the fans in the live stream. "I'm praising Shi Sui. He's so righteous." Yes, yes, yes. No matter how much you like someone, no one has the right to deprive others of their freedom. Actually, I'm quite annoyed with the memes about being locked in a basement. Liking someone should be based on respect. The Xiang family old estate. Xiang Yin, who had learned how to shop online, had a sullen expression on his face as he used his acupuncture needles to buy everything that his granddaughter bought. Meanwhile, Madame Xiang sent a voice message to the Sunset Glow Sisters group. "Ayaya, that's right. The person streaming with Kai Kai is our little granddaughter. Sisters, please support her. No, I'm not as outstanding as you say. I'm just average. My old man is shopping. Self-taught. He's not that smart. It was our precious little rabbit who taught him how to shop online." Xiang Yin blushed and coughed. "Okay, cut it out." Madame Xiang snickered. "Old man, are you shy?" "No." Xiang Yin retorted righteously. "Do I seem like the kind of person who would be shy?" Madame Xiang saw through him but didn't expose him. Instead, she continued to send voice messages to the group. Well, the group owner, Mrs. Zhou, loves to show off her grandson. "My little rabbit is the most outstanding one." The 1-hour live stream ended. The sales figures were tabulated immediately. Yen Kai Kai was not the only one who was looking forward to it. Even Hao Han was waiting for the results. When Guan Guan saw the data, she smiled and ignored Yen Kai Kai. Instead, she looked at Xiangyi. "Sister E, congratulations. Your live stream sales have exceeded 100 million yuan. And it's 200 million yuan. Sister Yi's heart aches as she looks at Shi Sui. It's like he's looking at a treasure. I'm the only one who feels like Xiang Yi wants to drink. After 3 rounds of wine. Men tend to talk a lot more nonsense when they drink too much. Yen Kai Kai didn't dare to look Guan Guan in the eye, but he didn't have such scruples when it came to Xiangyi. The two chatted about the live stream. Spicy Tutu's fans thought it was quite normal, but in the eyes of Yen Kai Kai's fans, they were a little displeased. In their opinion, Yen Kai Kai was neglecting Guan Guan. I'm speechless. Is Yen Kai Kai worthy of Guan Guan's efforts? Xiangyi is crazy. She's going to speak to Yen Kai Kai just because he's talking to her? Her EQ is so low. I feel sorry for Guan Guan. It's been so long, and she still hasn't become a full-time employee. She still has to watch the person she likes talk to another girl in public. How sad must she be? Chapter 523. The most direct result of overthinking was that some people couldn't control their emotions and started flaming her. Is Vase Fairy so sick that she'll die if she doesn't have a man? Does she have to stick to every man she meets? Xiangyi is such a green TB*TCH. All she knows is how to put on an act. She doesn't know how to be reserved in front of men. She was nice to Ling Yi just now, and now she's chatting passionately with Yan Kai Kai. She even got Shi Sui to drink with her. What a good move. While the netizens were scolding her fiercely, Guan Guan suddenly said, "Excuse me, I'm going out for a while." As soon as she left, the live stream went into an uproar. Heartbroken Guan Guan was flooded with comments. Apart from that, there were also comments scolding Xiangyi and Yan Kai Kai. It was as if the two of them had done something heinous. However, within a few minutes, Guan Guan returned. She walked into the living room with a huge cardboard box in her arms. When Xiangyi saw it, her first reaction was to get up to help her carry it. Yan Kai Kai was a step slower to react. "How can you girls do this kind of work? Let me do it." "You can't," Guan Guan said in disdain. Yan Kai Kai blushed. "You. Watch your words. We're doing a live stream." Guan Guan was confused. She began to reflect on herself. What do I see in this simple-minded man? Xiangyi avoided her injured hand and lifted the big box with one hand. "It's a little heavy," she commented. Guan Guan's gaze instantly changed, and there was a look of admiration in her eyes. "Sister E, you're so awesome. Wow, you can even lift such a heavy box with one hand." Yan Kai Kai was speechless. He had helped her carry things before, so why didn't Guan Guan flatter him? "Let me do it. I'm a man, I can't let you girls do this kind of work." Yan Kai Kai snatched the box from Xiangyi's hands. As soon as he grabbed it, he staggered due to the weight. Yan Kai Kai was speechless. Is this box filled with stones? How can Xiangyi, who looks so gentle, lift it with one hand effortlessly? When the live stream viewers saw this scene, they were instantly amused. "Ha ha ha, Yan Kai Kai is so chauvinistic, but it's not the disgusting kind. I'm about to throw up from laughing." Yan Kai Kai, you probably don't know anything about Sister Yi's strength. She is a cute girl who can carry a pig without batting an eyelid. In order to defend his male dignity, Yan Kai Kai insisted on moving the box to the dining table even though his face was red. Tianji looked at them and said, "Hey, what are you doing here?" Ling Yi was next to him, his head lowered as he played with a game console that Xiang Yu had left behind. He looked obedient and docile, but in the game, he was sharp and ruthless. Every move he made was fatal. Guan Guan opened the box and took out the things inside one by one. "Sister E, this sunscreen hat is super useful." "Sister E, do you like spicy food? This shop's spicy strips are delicious." "Sister E, this detergent is not only effective, but it also smells good. You must have it." The more they listened, the more they felt that something was amiss. Why did it feel like this big box of things, without exception, was all for Xiangyi? Li Jianyu asked the question that was on everyone's mind, "Guan Guan, are these all for Sister E?" Guan Guan smiled and said, "Yes, yes. I really like Sister E, so I must give her all the good things that I think are good." The netizens who were scolding them just now were speechless. What kind of F***king plot is this? Chapter 524. Xiangyi paused for a moment and said, "Wait a minute, I'll go get something for you." Not long after, Xiangyi brought over a bunch of food and drinks. For example, Little Rabbit Farm's new mixed noodles, as well as their signature products, spicy rabbit head, spicy beef, as well as her own pickled vegetables, salted duck eggs, fermented grape wine, plum wine, and so on. It was packed to the brim. After filling up Guan Guan's box, there was still a lot left. Guan Guan was shocked. "Are these all for me?" Sob, "Xiangyi, you're the best. I must be the happiest fan in the world." The girl said calmly, "This is a gift in return." However, Shi Sui noticed that she was poking at the hem of her clothes with her fingertips, looking lively and happy. Obviously, Little Rabbit was very happy to receive a gift. There was also a smile in his eyes. For no reason, he just couldn't help but smile when he saw her smile. Meanwhile, Yen Kai Kai stood at the side with a look of confusion on his face. He suddenly felt that he was quite redundant. In the live stream, the spicy Tutu fans' counterattack would come later. Ha 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 ha, some fans are so dramatic. It's a waste of talent if they don't go into acting. Are you sure Guan Guan is the one being ignored and not Yen Kai Kai? He's like a tool. The friendship between girls is so cute and spicy. It's cured. At this moment, many of Yen Kai Kai's fans who were flaming him were blushing in front of their screens. Yen Kai Kai had only come to work with Xiangyi to deliver goods. Now that the task was completed, he still had work to do. After dinner, he got ready to leave. Before leaving, Guan Guan held Xiangyi's hand and reluctantly talked to her for a while. The two girls exchanged contact information and even exchanged addresses so that it would be easier to send things to each other in the future. Yen Kai Kai could only awkwardly chat with Shi Sui. Shi Sui, when will we be able to see your new movie? Shi Sui smiled and said, "It depends on fate." Hearing this, many of his fans were a little disappointed. Shi Sui had already won the Best Actor award at such a young age. His career had already reached its peak. Even if he announced his retirement now, he would still be worshipped in the future. But they still wanted to see Shi Sui's life with more honor. Hearing this, Guan Guan asked Xiangyi curiously, "Sister E, do you know how to film?" Yen Kai Kai continued, "Hey, I think you two can work together." The two of them were just chatting casually, but they accidentally stirred up 1,000 ripples. The joke of the year. "Please, pretty sister, I'm willing to pay for a magazine shoot or a live stream, as long as you don't ruin my eyes on the big screen. I've endured it for so many days, but I can't take it any more today. I don't mind if they're a couple, but Shuringdi's works are not to be sullied. He's such a good actor, he shouldn't waste it on a woman like Xiangyi who only knows how to glare and pout." Yen Kai Kai still wanted to say something, but Guan Guan realized that she had said something wrong and secretly pinched Yen Kai Kai's arm. She tried to salvage the situation by saying, "Hey, we're just joking. Your daily life is as beautiful as a movie. When I get rich, I'm going to go home and farm too." Xiangyi didn't think too much about it, but Shi Sui raised his eyebrows. "Work together?" He looked at Xiangyi with a gentle gaze that was like a sparkling lake under the sunlight. "Of course I'm willing, but I don't know if Sister E is willing to work with me." Chapter 525. The netizens were speechless. Is Shuringdi so lovey-dovey? Doesn't he know how good Xiangyi's acting skills are? His words aroused the dissatisfaction of some of his fans. "Shuringdi, are you crazy? Do you have to put a woman on such high pedestals? She's not qualified to act with you. I've been with you from the lowest point to the peak and worried about your career. If you ruin your own future, I won't be your fan anymore. Smile. As an actor, I hope you can cherish your reputation. Even if you don't have any career aspirations and continue to pursue art, I hope you won't leave a stain on your career." Of course, some people reacted fiercely, while others were looking forward to it. Xiangyi now had a wide range of fans, including fans of her looks, foodies, older sister fans, mother fans, and milk powder fans. Especially the older fans, who hadn't seen Xiangyi in the previous idol drama, felt that this young lady was adorable and lovable. She would definitely be suitable for acting in a movie. Thinking of Shi Sui's delay in accepting the movie, Xiangyi blinked and said, "If you need, I can cooperate." After all, she had been evaluated as a perfect support by the transmigration system. Xiangyi felt that she knew a little about acting. Shi Sui raised his eyebrows. "Why don't you give it a try?" Xiangyi didn't hesitate. "Sure." In the night, the man's thin lips curled up, and even the dim scenery seemed to come alive in an instant. "Happy working with you, Sister E." The netizens were speechless. What's going on? Are the two of them really going to work together? Some of the fans immediately expressed their attitude in the pop-up comments. I'm no longer a fan, goodbye. Sure Sway, you don't care about the feelings of your fans at all. I'm in tears now. I feel like all my years of liking him have been wasted. I care more about his career than he does, but what about him? However, the emotional comments were quickly replaced by a wave of pop-up comments. Oh my god, Sister E is so capable. She's been praised by the officials. Huh. Everyone curiously went to Weibo to search, only to find that there was a trending topic. Hashtag Xiangyi Yen Kai Kai Young Man hashtag. When he suddenly saw it, he thought that it was a hot search. However, when they clicked on it, they realized that it was actually a Weibo post from the Huaxia Daily. Huagua Daily V. Today, Nanjing Satellite TV is trying new media to help the poor by carrying goods for agricultural products through live broadcasts, and the sales are gratifying. Thank you to hashtag Xiangyi Yen Kai Kai Youths hashtag. Not only did you solve the urgent needs of the farmers, but you also explored a new model of positive energy live streaming. I give a thumbs up to them for their excellence. Many class representatives with verified accounts went online to analyze the deeper meaning behind this Weibo post. Oh my god, Xiangyi and Yen Kai Kai are amazing. Looks like Yen Kai Kai's seat as the #1 streamer is secure. This is equivalent to an official signal that recognizes the legitimacy of the streamer's profession and the positive significance of live streaming. Ordinary passers-by didn't know much about it, but when they saw this trending topic, they felt that these two young people were indeed not bad. The fans were extremely excited. She felt as if her own child had received the biggest red flower in kindergarten. What are you waiting for? Just praise them and it'll be over. Hence, a large number of bootlicking experts went online and singled out Xiangyi and Yen Kai Kai for praise. When they praised them together, it could be said that there were no blind spots. At the same time, another trending topic broke into everyone's attention with astonishing popularity. Chapter 526. Hashtag Who's the Pretty Sister in The Nation. Hashtag The person who posted the post on Weibo was a well-known humorous blogger. Apart from accepting submissions from netizens, she also had fun with her family. In particular, the short videos of her arguing with her younger brother would definitely make it to the hot search list every time they were updated. How to conquer the handsome young man v. Ha 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 ha, I didn't expect my iron-willed brother to fall in love one day. He's just a poor high school student who just came home from school. I was slumped on the sofa eating strawberries while watching a variety show. My brother was so angry that he let out a furious roar. In the end, when he saw Xiangyi on TV, he immediately became shy and nervous. He clenched his fists and lowered his head while asking me, "Who is this pretty sister?" In order to know her name, my brother has already obediently washed my car for me. There was a lot of laughter in the comment section. Ha, men are just so shocking. My brother is actually shy? Is this still the same brother who tugged at your hair for a bowl of instant noodles? Xiangyi is really a pretty sister. Even I want to lick my screen crazily, let alone my brother. Nowadays, the live streaming industry in China was very developed and most young people didn't watch much television. Hence, although the hot search list was very popular, it had been stuck at around 10th place. Until, at 9:30 p.m., National Mass Workout was broadcast on satellite TV. At the same time, the online version of this episode was released on Xingchen Video. Many fans who were watching the online version were the first to reach the battlefield. Jun Han, let's go. Mommy is here. Wow, Su Tumi is in this episode. I like her so much. Spicy Tutu will never admit defeat. Our sister Yi's reputation is rising. At this moment, countless people were slumped on the sofa or bed, enjoying the rare leisure time of the day. After the familiar introduction ended, a delicate and fair face appeared in front of everyone's eyes. The young girl was holding a black recurve bow with a bow on her head. She was dressed in a bright and sweet manner, but there was a trace of coldness in her eyes. She squinted, aimed, and pulled the bow. Whoosh! The young girl didn't look at the results and instead lowered her head to take an arrow. The audience in front of the screen. There was an instant pop-up comment section. Damn it, What kind of pretty sister is this? My sister used her cuteness as a weapon and shot me in the heart with an 8x scope. Is this the legendary true expert who never looks at the score after shooting an arrow? Coach, I want to learn this. Some fans who were familiar with the routine of National Citizen felt that something was wrong. The first person to appear would be the main guest of this episode. Come on, in terms of celebrity status, popularity, and status, what qualifications did Xiangyi have to be the main guest? What a joke. Many people directly opened up the comment section, and for a moment, the bullet screen was filled with a foul atmosphere. However, this episode of the film was personally edited by director Zhu. He was one of the top variety directors in the industry, and his aesthetic sense had always been on the line. This time, he even brought out his specialty. The rhythm of the editing was excellent, and there were endless laughs. The audience's attention was quickly diverted away from the main guest. The famous scenes of Xiangyi drawing the cartoon clip, Su Tumi hitting the wrong target, and Xiangyi hitting the 10th ring of the 10 rings were all hilarious. The number of fans on both their Weibo accounts was increasing rapidly. Some people were happy, while others were sad. Bai Wuxia looked at the variety show with disbelief in his eyes. They actually deleted all my scenes in this episode. Chapter 527. Recently, Bai Wuxia had been embroiled in a whirlpool of public opinion and his reputation had been ruined. No one had approached him to act in a drama. National Citizen was his only exposure. He initially thought that director Zhu would more or less give him some face, even if it meant that he would have less screen time. At the very least, he could have his face censored. Maybe someone would be curious about who the censored person was and he might still have some popularity. However, he didn't expect director Zhu to be so ruthless. He edited it as if he didn't record this episode at all. Bai Wuxia thumped his chest and stamped his feet in regret. He was infuriated and posted several Weibo posts in a row. Bai Wuxia v. Only the person who drinks will know if it's hot or cold. Bai Wuxia v. In this world, there's only icing on the cake, there's no such thing as timely help. Bai Wuxia v. Perhaps, I'm the true portrayal of the marginal character in literary works. Some netizens commented, yes, you're very redundant. Seeing this, Bai Wuxia criticized the other party for online violence and even called on his fans to scold the netizen. This wave of confusing actions naturally attracted countless mockery from the public. Seeing that there were so many people scolding him, Bai Wuxia decided to go all the way. Thinking that he was still popular after being criticized, he hoped to use this opportunity to stir up some waves. Hence, he posted on Weibo and claimed that he was going to expose something. Bai Wuxia v. Let me tell you guys, a certain female star is a lesbian. The two girls were hugging and hugging each other during the recording of the show. It's so disgusting. Bai Wuxia v. A certain male star also secretly supported a certain female star with 3 food trucks. Don't ask me who it is, everyone already knows. Aren't the two of them having an affair? Huh. As soon as these 2 Weibo posts were posted, Bai Wuxia's Weibo immediately became lively. Countless netizens who were watching the show seemed to be possessed by Sherlock Holmes and Detective Conan as they speculated, analyzed, deciphered, and dug into the Weibo posts of the production crew. In the end, they actually managed to decipher Bai Wuxia's news. Some of the netizens posted a conclusion, Revelation 1, the certain female star should be referring to Su Tumi. The 2 female stars who are hugging each other are Su Tumi and Xiangyi. I've cut a clip from the variety show where Xiangyi was teaching Su Tumi archery, and it was as if she was holding Su Tumi in her arms. Also, I found a staff member's Weibo. Someone posted something about the couple that day. Lala, I think Bai Wuxia is just making things up, but the 2 of them seem to be really close. Revelation 2. This should be referring to Xiangyi and She Sui. Xiangyi had a total of 4 support food trucks that day, and one of them was organized by her fans. However, according to the screenshot circulating in the fan group, Xiangyi converted the money to her fans and told them not to spend money on her in the future. As for the other 3 cars, I found a post on the Melon forum. It was posted by the staff of the catering car that day. It said that the person who ordered the catering car was Shi Sui's agent. Bai Wuxia waited for a long time, but there was no call. Could it be that no one was paying attention? He picked up his phone and saw that one of the two Weibo posts had more than a few thousand comments, and the other had more than 10,000 comments. Bai Wuxia was overjoyed. He thought that the popularity was waving at him, but when he clicked on the comments, he was dumbfounded. Ah, I can be a sweet and soft couple. Shi Sui actually gave Sister E a support food truck? Sob sob sob, this dog food is too fragrant. Apart from that, the most common comment was this one: thank you for the news. Since you've already become famous, why don't you change your career to paparazzi? Bai Wuxia was speechless. Chapter 528. Bai Wuxia failed to expose the matter and was instead advised by netizens to become a paparazzi. Soon, it was reposted by various humorous bloggers. All of a sudden, the sentence, since you're going to fail anyway, why don't you change your profession and become a paparazzi, became a new internet buzzword. In a sense, Bai Wuxia had achieved his goal. He had indeed gained some popularity. However, what followed was not directors looking for him to act in shows but various gossip magazines, paparazzi, and other media outlets throwing him an olive branch. The second round of the game segment of National Citizen was broadcasted. On the screen, Xiangyi was dressed in a clean and neat camouflage uniform with a belt around her slender waist. Her hair was tied into a bun and she was carrying a sniper rifle that was disproportionate to her body size. However, she was surprisingly sassy and beautiful. In particular, at the moment she fired the shot, the pop-up comments were filled with comments such as, "Ah, I'm dead," "Sister shot my heart," and "I died" repeatedly in front of the screen. However, when the crowd found out that she had killed her teammate, Jun Han, they laughed so hard that they were about to cry. For this part, director Zhu used editing techniques similar to those used in war movies as the camera kept switching between each person. The post-production was also particularly impressive as it was accompanied by all kinds of exciting music. Many people were so engrossed in watching that they even forgot that it was just a variety show. All of a sudden, the scene turned into an intense push and pull that pulled the crowd back to reality. Someone complained, "Why are you shaking the camera? You're making me dizzy." At this moment, the screen turned black and the post-production subtitles appeared, which briefly described the accident that happened to Su Tumi on the day of filming. When the audience saw that Su Tumi was actually being chased by a wanted criminal, director Zhu did not cut the scene and instead played the sounds of Su Tumi crying and panting when she was running. The editing made everyone's hearts wrench up. Ah, how could this happen? Oh my God, I'm breaking out in cold sweat even through the screen. Although I know that Su Tumi is safe and sound, it's still so heart-wrenching to hear this scene. The panting sounds became more and more rapid, especially when she screamed. It was enough to make one imagine the terrifying scene at that time. A maniacal wanted criminal was chasing after a weak and helpless young girl, like a wild beast hunting in the forest. However, in the next second, whoosh, the screen lit up. Like a ray of light at the end of the darkness, the dim light became brighter and brighter, and finally fixed on the scene of Xiangyi running towards Su Tumi. The young girl was like a slender but vigorous wild leopard, directly pouncing over. Meanwhile, the background music played by Wuxia's sarcastic words at that time, but the voice was changed. "Let's stand further away. If Xiangyi can't hold on, we'll be in big trouble. Hey, don't forget to run towards us. Aren't they afraid of dragging us down? His EQ is too low." The scene of a young girl fighting with all her might, coupled with the words she had said, brought about a strong impact. The bullet screen exploded. I'm F*King crying out loud. Sister E is so nice. The way he ran over without hesitation was really too tear-jerking. Don't think I don't know who you are just because you changed your voice. Bai Wuxia, you're a fool. It's completely mushy. Even the netizens who were initially critical of Xiangyi for not being worthy of being the main guest were teary-eyed. The entire bullet screen was lined up in a neat formation. She deserves to be the main guest. She deserves to be the main guest. She deserves to be the main guest. Chapter 529. At this point, no one doubted whether Xiangyi was worthy of being the main guest anymore. Because there was no doubt about it. Hashtag who's the pretty girl in Citizen? Hashtag trended all the way to second place. The first place was occupied by another term. Hashtag her name is Xiangyi. Hashtag the person who posted this was Xiangyi's fan club's official Weibo account. Protect my Mala 22V, she's not a vase fairy, she just has a pretty face. She's not pretentious, she just knows a little about everything. She's not an actress from the Xiang family, she has her own name. Hashtag her name is Xiangyi hashtag. The accompanying picture was a set of 9 squares, each of which was a picture of her beautiful face. There was a picture of Xiangyi washing her hands to make soup, a picture of her holding silver needles, a picture of her playing the sanxian, and a picture of her receiving a silk banner. The picture seemed casual, but it was actually intentional. It showed everyone that she was really an outstanding girl. On this day, countless people tore off the stereotypical label they had for Xiangyi. They finally got to know Xiangyi properly. Citizen broadcasted the third round of Bonus Time, which was the segment where the production team went to Xiangyi's manor to shoot. After experiencing such a thrilling scene and seeing such a peaceful scene, the audience spontaneously thought of 2 words in their hearts: bliss. It turned out that a plain life was also a kind of bliss. They were used to the bustling traffic and bright lights of the big city. When they saw this kind of life of picking chrysanthemums under the eastern fence, leisurely looking at the southern mountains, it really felt like they had entered a paradise of peach blossoms. The rhythm of the second half of the segment was slow and uneven, delicate but not dragging. This episode of National Citizen ended with one sentence: "A game is just a game, and friends are not just friends." When the audience saw this sentence, they smiled knowingly, as if they had vaguely understood something. They were smiling, but when they came back to their senses, they realized that their eyes were wet. After watching the variety show, many of the audience members did not continue to surf the internet as usual. Instead, they called their family or friends. "Mom, I miss the chicken soup you made." "Sister, we haven't seen each other in a long time, let's meet for dinner." "Brother, how have you been recently? Ha ha ha, you're living such a comfortable life. Call me Daddy." On the Lime app, the ratings of National Citizen rose rapidly. This episode was regarded by countless people as a variety textbook, godly editing, and comparable to an indie film. It became a classic in the history of variety. Everything on the internet did not seem to affect the manor at all. After the live broadcast ended, everyone returned to their rooms to rest. As the night deepened, Xiangyi nestled in bed, reading a book. Xiao Naofu was snoring on the pillow next to her. It was raining outside the window, accompanied by the dull sound of thunder. Xiangyi got up and went to the living room to get some water. She vaguely heard some rustling sounds coming from the utility room. "Thief." The girl frowned slightly. She picked up the peachwood sword she used for morning practice and kicked open the door to the storeroom. It was pitch black. She met Ling Ye's eyes. The young man's complexion was pale, as if he had fallen into extreme fear. He huddled in the cramped space, as if this was the only way he could feel safe. Xiangyi looked at him for a few seconds and walked away. Ling Yi wanted to grab the corner of her shirt, but he did not manage to reach it. A bitter smile appeared on his lips. Perhaps this was retribution. Sister must have thought that he was acting. His body was getting colder and colder. Ling Yi coughed softly. Suddenly, a light appeared in his field of vision. It was not bright enough, but it was very warm. It was an orange night light. Chapter 530. The stars outside the window were sparse and the room was silent. A ray of light suddenly appeared in the boundless darkness. Ling Yi stared at the lamp in shock and suddenly felt a lump in his throat. Immediately afterwards, a warm and soft little Shiji was stuffed into his arms. The little Shiba Inu was still in a daze. It opened its moist eyes and tilted its head in bewilderment. "Woof." Little Shiji is very obedient. Can it accompany you? The girl's voice was gentle and sweet, just like the sound of nature in the middle of the night. I read a paper previously that said that pets can effectively relieve anxiety and tension. Ling Ye's Adam's apple moved and he had a hard time suppressing his coughs. His voice was hoarse as he said, "Thank you. You're welcome." Xiangyi looked at him calmly without any discrimination. Instead, she asked, "Do you need me to close the door?" She didn't ask him to be normal, be strong, or get better. However, for the first time, Ling Yi felt that he was respected. He heard himself murmuring in a broken voice, "Sister, can you not leave?" Before Xiangyi could answer, the beautiful and exquisite young man said self-deprecatingly, "How am I worthy?" He curled his fingers and said, "I'm sorry, sister." Xiang Yi's eyelashes fluttered, and she pointed in the direction of the bookshelf. "I'll leave a gap for you, and then I'll read outside. If you're afraid, you can knock on the door twice. If I hear you, I'll knock on the bookshelf twice, okay?" Ling Yi looked at her in disbelief. He didn't even know if he had nodded or not. By the time he recovered from the shock, darkness had enveloped his vision again. The difference was that there was a chubby Shiba Inu in his arms that was rubbing against his chest and exposing its belly for him to stroke. Beside him was a small night light. It was dim and weak, but it resisted the boundless darkness and stubbornly crushed the glimmer of light. Through the gap in the door, he could see that the light on the bookshelf seemed to be fatally attractive. For a moment, Ling Yi suddenly understood why moths were destined to fly to the fire. The dazzling light was where one's heart was. He tried to test it by gently knocking on the door twice, but he quickly retracted his hand. He was afraid that she wouldn't hear him, but he was also afraid that she would. He was conflicted and tangled. A few seconds later, the steady and calm sound of knuckles hitting the solid wood bookshelf came from outside the door. All the chaos and pain seemed to have been paused at this moment. Ling Ye's heart raced as he clenched his fists. The system sensed his abnormality and remained silent. Temporary salvation was still salvation. At least at this moment, the host was happy. Xiangyi was so engrossed in flipping through the book that she didn't notice a shadow beside her. Until the shadow could no longer hold back and tugged at the corner of her clothes. "Elder sister." Xiangyi looked in the direction of the voice and discovered that Ling Yi had unknowingly sat cross-legged on the floor. His beautiful face was looking up at her without blinking. "What's the matter?" Xiangyi frowned. "The floor is cold. Get up. My sister cares about me." This realization made Ling Yi both excited and pained. "Sister, can I always stay by your side?" "Sister, I will be very obedient." "Sister." The last word was said in a nasal tone. It sounded like he was acting coquettishly, but more like he was pleading. Xiangyi said indifferently, "Ling Yi, don't lose yourself. You should go home." Hearing this, Ling Yi suddenly smiled bitterly. He said, "Sister, not everyone wants to go home." Chapter 531. Xiangyi was slightly taken aback. Ling Yi looked up at her and said in a hoarse voice, "Sister, do you know that no one will wait for me to come home?" "No one." Suddenly, he could smell the fruity scent of citrus. Xiangyi squatted down in front of him. "It's okay. After you complete all the missions, you can choose a world to stay in." "Can I choose sister's world?" As soon as the young man finished speaking, his expression suddenly changed. His face turned pale as if he had lost all his vitality in an instant. Ling Ye's lips were moving and his eyes were dilated. He seemed to be talking to the system in his mind. Xiangyi could vaguely hear a few words. Impossible. You betrayed me? Even you betrayed me. If it's not you, who else could it be?" Boom. The young man fell to the ground. Xiangyi quickly went to check on him. "Sister." Ling Yi called out for the last time. He tried to grab Xiangyi's hand, but it fell to the ground before he could even touch the corner of her clothes. Late at night, at the hospital, Xiangyi was sitting on a bench in the corridor. Her eyes were empty and she was in a daze. A man's jacket suddenly appeared on her thin and slender shoulders. It was stained with his scent. "Ling Yi is awake," Shui said. "Do you want to go and see him?" Xiangyi collected her thoughts and nodded. She walked to the door of the emergency room. Through the transparent glass, her gaze fell on the unconscious young man. However, she felt as if she was looking at another person. She suddenly stopped in her tracks. After a while, Xiangyi looked down. It's good that he's fine. However, there was no need to look at him anymore. This was because this Ling Yi was no longer Ling Yi. Where did he go? What happened? Was he still alive? Xiangyi sighed. She told herself not to think about it, but she still couldn't control herself. Her fingers were suddenly held. His slender fingers went through her hand and interlocked with hers. "Sister Yi, I'm here." "Okay," Xiangyi replied and rested her forehead on his shoulder. "Boyfriend, lend me your shoulder." Shui noticed the change in Song Yunxuan's mood. Seeing that Song Yunxian didn't want to say more, he didn't ask any more questions. He just patted Song Yunxuan's back gently with his other hand. A moment later, Xiangyi adjusted her mood. "Boyfriend, let's go home." The word "go home" poked the soft corner of the man's heart. He looked gentle. "Okay, listen to Sister Yi." Before he left, he glanced at Ling Yi, who was in the emergency room. His long and narrow eyes suddenly narrowed. Was Sister Yi's body also swapped in the same way? That night, chaos ensued. First, Ling Yi suddenly fainted and was sent to the hospital. Tianji Ai was impatient and drove to the hospital in the middle of the night, but an accident happened. The next morning, the news that Tianji and his disciple were both hospitalized spread on the internet. Qin Wanyan had never imagined that she would be called out and scolded because of this. The reason the netizens scolded her was that she was a jinx. Qin Wanyan was trembling with anger. Why? Why? She was the chosen one. The little system coaxed her for a long time, but she scolded it back. It didn't dare to say anything for a long time. Suddenly, the small system exclaimed, "Host, the main system has detected that there is a problem with the assisting attacker. The assisting attacker has been erased, and a new task has been assigned to you. If you complete it, there will be a generous reward." Hearing the word reward, Qin Wanyan was delighted. What mission? Target the CEO of Xingchen Entertainment, Xiang Feng. Chapter 532. Achoo, Xiang Feng, who was standing in front of the floor-to-ceiling window with his new assistant's cup of black coffee, sneezed for the 6th time that morning. He took a sip of the coffee, which was so hot that his facial features were twitching. F***CK, it's so hot. What the hell is this? It tastes awful. The assistant was so scared that her face turned pale and her legs trembled uncontrollably. Was this hard-won job going to be gone just like that? The next second, the handsome, charming, and domineering CEO said in a low voice, "Miss Li, right? I have something to trouble you with." Assistant Li's teeth chattered. You, go downstairs to the trash, the fast food restaurant, and pack a cup of soy milk for me. Remember to bring a bag of white sugar." Assistant Li was stunned. "Mr. Xiang, the soy milk in the fast food restaurant doesn't seem to be ground, but made with soy milk powder. It's not very healthy." Xiang Feng was confused. "I'm already eating trash, why would I care about my health?" Assistant Li, ? By the way, why is your face so dirty? Next time, wash your face clean before coming to work. Xiang Feng used his own face as an example and pointed at his chin, cheekbones, and nose. This, and this. You're a city beauty after all, you have to pay attention to your image." Assistant Li, if she remembered correctly, these spots were the makeup she used to modify the shape of her face, right? How did it become that she didn't wash her face? Also, your nose is red from the cold. Is it that cold? Lower the temperature of the air conditioner later. Assistantly, she wasn't cold. She had deliberately applied blush to the tip of her nose to create a pitiful feeling, okay? Don't catch a cold. Assistantly was feeling touched when she heard Xiong Feng take a few steps back with a vigilant expression. It won't be good if you spread it to me. Assistantly, she finally understood why Mr. Xiong was still single. At the manor. Perhaps because she caught a cold last night, Xiangyi also sneezed twice when she woke up for her morning exercise. She didn't take it seriously and was about to practice a set of sword techniques when she heard a loud roar. Xiangyi! The little girl was so frightened that her hand trembled and she almost dropped her sword. She turned her head in confusion, but the moment she saw who it was, her expression was replaced by joy. Brother! The girl bounced towards Xiang Qi, but was shouted at by Xiang Qi, Stop! Don't move! Xiangyi stopped and looked at him in confusion. Tall and well-proportioned, the man, who could instantly outshine countless models, strode forward as if he was walking on a catwalk, full of aura. He took off his long windbreaker and covered the girl's head with it. Xiangyi opened her mouth, but before she could say anything, she heard third brother say fiercely, I'm telling you, I'm angry. It was super cool. It's best that you remain silent. As he spoke, he nimbly helped Xiangyi put on the windbreaker. The girl wasn't short, but the man's windbreaker was still too big for her. It almost reached her ankles. Xiang Qi put his hands on his waist. Who allowed you to sneeze? I'm telling you, you're not allowed to hit me. You have to be healthy. Xiangyi only found it funny. Why was third brother like a primary school student? You're still laughing? What are you laughing at? What's so funny? Xiangyi blinked. Can I speak now? The most handsome, and best brother in the universe, whoosh, Xiang Qi's ears turned red in a second, but he pretended to be calm. What did you say? I've been a little deaf recently. I have to say it a few more times to hear it clearly. Chapter 533. Xiangyi smiled and said, Brother, you're the most handsome and dashing, Xiang Qi said. Go on, I'm still deaf. Before she could finish her sentence, a cold voice came from behind her. Sister, what am I then? See. Brother Xiang. Xiangyi looked at her fourth brother, who was wearing a black sportswear. The young man was holding a huge and gorgeous trophy in his hand. His expression was cold and his hair was messy. He looked like he had rushed here after a long journey. Xiangyi quickly changed her words. Brother Xiang, you love me the most. The next second, a gentle and elegant voice sounded. Tutu, I'll be sad if you say that. Xiangyi. Brother Xiang was here too. She swallowed her saliva and felt like she was in an anime. Brother Xiang is the best. In the next second. Oh? Really? It was as if he was shaking off a handful of snow on a distant mountain. The man's voice seemed to have a magnetic field that attracted people. It was her eldest brother, Sangchen. Xiangyi was scared and hid behind Brother Xiang, who was closest to her. Brother Xiang hid behind Brother Xiang, and Brother Xiang hid behind Brother Xiang. It was as if an eagle was trying to catch a chick. At this moment, Xiang Li was the mother chick and Sangchen was the ferocious eagle. Sangchen had obviously just gotten off the plane as well. However, he always looked like an elite with neat clothes and neat hair. He adjusted his snow-white sleeves and looked past the crowd. His gaze landed on Xiangyi. He walked closer to her slowly. Xiangyi was so scared that she closed her eyes. After a while, she felt a weight on her shoulder. She opened her eyes slightly and found that Big Brother expressionlessly draped a suit jacket over her windbreaker. She said softly, Brother Xiang, I'm not cold. Sangchen said, You're cold. Xiangyi was forced to follow her brother's deep and lonely eyes. I'm cold. Sangchen rubbed her little head. You have to wear more clothes in the morning. Sangchen was gentle to his younger sister. He was not so polite to his other younger brothers. He looked around, and everyone who came into contact with his gaze couldn't help but stand up straighter. Are all of you very free? Everyone obediently answered Xiang Chen's question like elementary school students. Fourth bro Xiang Yu said weakly, I just finished my match. The team gave us 2 days off. Third brother Xiang Qi whistled guiltily. I'm a freelancer, so I'm always free. The second son, Xiang Li, adjusted his glasses. I'm tired from the research, so I came back to relax. It's important to strike a balance between work and rest. Sangchen nodded in response. As if he had sensed something, his gaze suddenly shot towards a certain direction. That sharp gaze invisibly pierced through the air, crushed through the thin mist, and finally fixed on a certain spot. She Sui was wearing a gray hoodie. She looked clean and fresh, like a college student. He held a thermos in his hand, and under Songchen's gaze, he walked towards Xiangyi. Sister Yi, have some hot water. Xiangyi took it and naturally thanked him. Thank you, boyfriend. Before she finished speaking, she was the first to react. She wanted to cover her mouth, but it was too late. It was too late for her to regret it. She didn't expect that Shi Sui's words would cause all the hatred to be directed at her. Girlfriend, you're welcome. Sangchen rolled up his sleeves. Xiang Li took off his silver-rimmed glasses. Xiang Qi bent down and began to take off his shoes. Xiang Yu's hand holding the trophy was restless. The air was filled with the smell of gunpowder, but Shi Sui still calmly blinked her eyes and smiled at the Xiang brothers. Brothers, good morning. Chapter 534. The man's tone was languid and familiar, with a hint of coquettishness that was hard to ignore. The Xiang brothers. That D***** man is so arrogant. Xiang Qi cursed and nudged Xiang Yu with his elbow. Fourth brother, take his trophy and smack him on the head. The young esports god's face was cold and aloof. Don't think he didn't know that third brother was trying to trick him. Hit him with your shoe. Xiang Yu wasn't going to fall for it. Xiang Qi. Wasn't that because he didn't dare? Shi Sui and Sangchen were the same age. If Xiang Yu was the demon king who dominated everyone, then Shi Sui was the second demon king who smiled beside the demon king. He could talk, but Xiang Qi didn't dare to fight at all. Do you want to go for a run? Xiangyi tried to get Shi Sui to leave this hellish place. Here, a towel. The young girl handed over a towel. It was obviously a soft and pink towel for girls to use. Shi Sui took it and slowly draped it around her neck. Her movements seemed to be 5 times faster than normal. Thank you, Sister Yi. The Xiang brothers. How can you tolerate this? Xiang Qi continued to fan the flames. Xiang Yu gritted his teeth and stuffed the trophy into third brother's hands. Hold it for me. He zipped up his team uniform and walked over to Shi Sui expressionlessly. Run. Let's do it together. Xiangyi wanted to stop him, but third brother grabbed her by the collar and she flailed her arms and legs like a little chick. Fourth brother, don't bully people. Although Xiang Yu was a professional esports player, he wasn't the type who neglected sports. On the contrary, he had excellent physical fitness and even ran a marathon during his vacation last month. Shi Sui was such a delicate man. How could she outrun fourth brother? A certain movie king didn't know that his image in Xiangyi's heart had collapsed. He chuckled and agreed. Okay, 3 kilometers then? 5 kilometers. Xiang Yu sneered and moved his wrists and ankles. His tone was tinged with the arrogance of a young man. You can run first. If Smog's fans were together, they would probably scream in unison. That was too arrogant. But it also made people feel cool. Xiang Qi didn't mind blowing things up. He put his finger to his mouth and whistled loudly. Ready, let's go. 2 figures, one black and one gray, gradually disappeared. Xiang Yi was on tenterhooks, afraid that Shi Sui would run out of breath or force himself to continue running when he couldn't run anymore. The little girl's emotions were in a mess as she paced back and forth on the same spot. Xiang Chan and the others were calm as they sat down at the stone table and chairs in the courtyard. Xiang Qi even made tea for his big brother like a lackey. However, after tasting it, Xiang Chen frowned. Although he didn't say anything, he didn't touch it again. Bun Bun, can I trouble you to make a few cups of coffee? Xiang Li asked warmly. The restless girl nodded absent-mindedly and went back to her room to prepare. As soon as she left, Songchen's aura became even colder. Even Xiang Li couldn't resist it. Tutu has really grown up. Xiang Li sighed. Sangchen sneered. She's just bewitched by a honey trap. The younger ones in the Xiang family hadn't seen Shi Sui's true colors, but he had. People who came out of the darkness were not cloaked in light, but in a mask. Xiang Qi's brain twitched and he blurted out, I think it's better to let it go. We're worried that Xiang Yu's feelings will be played by a man. The solution is simple. Let Xiang Yu play with a man's feelings. For a moment, Sangchen and Xiang Li looked at Xiang Yu with very similar eyes. They looked silly. Chapter 535. Xiang Qi said confidently, I think what I said makes a lot of sense. Why are you guys looking at me like that? It's like I'm brainless. Xiang Li, you have. Sangchen, you have. Xiang Qi, very good, that hurt. Your logic is equivalent to turning Tutu into a scumbag to prevent Tutu from meeting a scumbag. Xiang Li clicked his tongue. You have the same genes, but I can't understand how you can be so stupid. Xiang Qi. He was just making a suggestion, why did it turn into a personal attack? As they spoke, Xiang Yi came out with a coffee pot and poured everyone a cup. The aroma of the hand-brewed coffee filled the air, mellow and slightly bitter. Xiang Chen's brows visibly relaxed as he picked up the glass and sipped from it. Xiang Li praised, Tutu's cooking has improved again. Hey, they're back, they're back. Xiang Qi's sharp eyes spotted the two running back. It was different from how Xiang Yi imagined Shi Sui to be weak and unable to run. The man's expression was calm and his breathing was even. Only his forehead was sweating slightly. Fourth brother Xiang Yu was as tired as a dead dog. He was panting heavily and sweating profusely as he struggled to keep up with him. The girl's milky white face was blank. Was her boyfriend's stamina this good? Xiang Li and Sangchen were still able to maintain their composure, but Xiang Qi had lost control of his expression. He looked at Shi Sui with horror in his eyes. What the F***ck? That scumbag is so strong. Shi Sui stopped in her tracks as if she was deliberately showing off. She took the towel that Xiang Yi gave her and slowly wiped her sweat. Xiang Yu bent over and held his knees. He felt like his heart had never been this fast, even during the World Series. The two of them did run 5 kilometers, but normal people only accelerated in the last few hundred meters. Shi Sui ran at least 2 kilometers with him. 2 kilometers. Who could withstand this? His physical strength was quickly depleting. On the other hand, Shi Sui looked as if nothing had happened. Xiang Yu suspected that he could continue running. What a freak. Too perverse. Brother, are you tired? Shi Sui's question rang in his ears and Xiang Yu shuddered. Brother Shi, don't call me brother. How can I do that? I am Sister Yi's boyfriend. Of course, I have to follow how Sister Yi calls me brother. Shi Sui grabbed a new towel and wiped Xiang Yu's sweat in a friendly manner. She even handed him a bottle of sports drink. Big brother, you work so hard playing esports every day, but you're also very good at sports. Xiang Yu. Although these words were embarrassing, but it feels so good. For a boy to be praised by an older brother whom he had admired since he was a child, this was undoubtedly a huge recognition. Not only that, but Shi Sui also added, I don't know if Xiao Naofu has woken up yet. It seems to have gained weight recently. Its face is round and its belly is soft. Whoosh, Xiang Yu couldn't help but clench his fists. It's not fat. Brother Shi, don't call it fat. It'll be sad if it hears it. Sorry, it was a slip of the tongue. Shi Sui looked innocent. It's not fat, it's just furry. Xiang Yu. Xiang Yu's furry instincts kicked in and he lost all reason. He no longer felt tired and rushed into the living room, looking everywhere for Xiao Naofu. Mimi. Mimi Mimi. Shi Sui looked at Xiangyi and sneered silently. Xiangyi. She suddenly realized that her boyfriend seemed to be a little black-bellied. Chapter 536. A certain best actor, who had successfully obtained the first blood, said in a gentle and harmless manner, "Brothers, you must be tired from the long journey. It's time for breakfast." Xiang Qi thought he had discovered a blind spot and stood up abruptly. "How dare you order my sister to make breakfast? There's no rule in the Xiang family to order girls around." Although Xiangyi was a good cook, the Xiang family didn't really let her cook much. Even if she cooked or washed the dishes, these chores were all done by the men. Xiangyi coughed and said embarrassedly, Shi Sui has been cooking recently. Her hand injury wasn't actually very serious, but Shi Sui treated her like a child who couldn't take care of herself and didn't let her touch pots and pans at all. Xiangyi's hands were itching. She couldn't wait to pick up a big pot and toss it a few dozen times. Xiang Qi didn't expect this answer. He was silent for 2 seconds and fully displayed the strength of a debater. "Isn't it natural for boys to do housework? It's already so late and you still haven't let our Tutu eat breakfast. Do you want her to starve?" In Xiangyi's eyes, this scene was very much like a bossy, evil mother-in-law reprimanding a humble daughter-in-law in a TV series. The little girl gently tugged at his sleeve. "Brother, don't be so fierce to him," Shi Sui timely answered. "I'm fine, Sister E. Brother is right. I'll go make breakfast now." Xiangyi looked at Shi Sui. The man's long eyelashes just happened to be lowered, looking weak and docile. "There's no rule in our family that boys eat at the table." The two looked at each other. Shi Sui seemed to reluctantly raise the corners of his mouth. Then he quickly took a shower and began to busy himself in the kitchen. The rice cooker had cooked the porridge on time in advance. Shi Sui cooked 2 home-cooked dishes with pickled vegetables and salted duck eggs. It looked quite a sumptuous meal. He laid out the dishes and was about to sit down when Xiang Qi came out to nitpick again. "There's no rule in our family that boys eat at the table." Xiangyi's eyes widened. "Since when did our family have such a rule? And big brother, you're also a boy." Xiang Qi added, "Boys other than my brother." She really hated her mother-in-law. Shi Sui said in a low voice, "Whatever my brother says. You guys enjoy your meal. I'll just go to the side and eat something." As he spoke, he took a bowl of porridge and moved to a small stool at the side. He obediently held the bowl and drank it in small mouthfuls. She was really weak, helpless, and pitiful. Those who heard this scene were heartbroken, and those who heard it shed tears. Xiangyi couldn't hold it in any longer. She sat down beside Shi Sui with a bowl of porridge in her hand. She accompanied her silently to protest against her third brother's feudal tyranny. "Here, the duck egg yolks are for you." The girl gave all her duck egg yolks to Shi Sui. Shi Sui declined. "Sister E, don't worry about me. Go back and have dinner with my brothers. I can't watch you suffer like this. It's okay for me to suffer a little." Hearing the conversation between the two, Xiang Qi was completely baffled. He just wanted to bully Shi Sui, that bastard. Why did he push his sister to him? "By the way, Sister E, I accidentally tore your apron." Shi Sui sighed. "That's the one and only apron that my brother made for you. I'm sorry. I'll try to sew it up later." Xiang Qi was listening to their conversation. When he heard this, he became anxious. "You can't sew it up. Where's the apron?" "I'll do it." Chapter 537. "Brother, it's okay. I can stitch too. Although I'm not good at it, I'll try my best." A certain best actor started to speak. Xiang Qi was furious. How dare you touch my work when you know that you're not good at it? Xiang Qi could tolerate it in other aspects, but when it came to his own work, he was particular about excellence and impeccable. He could even be called a perfectionist. Shi Sui looked like a punching bag. Brother, I was wrong. Xiang Qi said aggressively, let me tell you, it's my job to stitch things for my sister. Don't even think about snatching it from me. Don't even think about it in this lifetime. In this world, I'm the only one who can make the most beautiful little dress for my sister. I'm so envious of Sister Yi for having such a good brother like you. This sentence accurately hit Xiang Qi's heart. He cleared his throat and suddenly felt that Shi Sui was much more pleasing to the eye. Well, it was all right. Anyway, with his handicapped skills, he definitely wouldn't be able to threaten his position in his sister's heart. At this thought, Xiang Qi suddenly felt relieved. He glanced at Shi Sui from the corner of his eyes like a king looking at bronze. Then, he put his hands in his pockets and hummed a tune as he went to stitch up the little apron for his sister. Xiang Yi was dumbfounded by his actions. This works too? What should I do if I suddenly find out that my boyfriend is black? Xiang Yu and Xiang Qi were taken down one after another. Xiang Li and Sangchen looked on coldly from the sidelines. These two intelligent men naturally wouldn't be bewitched by Shi Sui's little tricks. Shi Sui wasn't in a hurry. After finishing her porridge, she took the initiative to clean up the table. She even pretended to wash all the dishes by hand without using the dishwasher. It could be said that she was virtuous to the extreme. Xiang Li said, "It's just an act." Sangchen said, "Haha." The two of them were not moved at all. However, it had to be said that this action had subtly made a good impression on them. In the living room, Xiang Yu let go of himself and hugged Xiao Naofu, kissing and sucking. Xiao Naofu revealed a forced expression. Xiang Qi skillfully sewed the small apron for his sister and took out some cloth to make a few bows for his sister's hair. Sangchen used his laptop to reply to his work emails while massaging his temples from time to time. On the other hand, Xiang Li and Xiang Li were discussing the collaboration between Little Rabbit Farm and Nanqing Research Institute. The atmosphere was quite harmonious. However, when Shi Sui walked out of the kitchen, the balance was broken. Seeing that the atmosphere was about to explode, Xiang Yi hurriedly tried to ease the tension and asked casually, "Shi Sui, who won the last Nanqing Agronomy Award?" "I kind of want to plant that super pumpkin he developed." Shi Sui, "Let me think." Xiang Li scoffed. "Do you still need to think about it? After all, you haven't even gone to college. It's normal that you can't answer this kind of question. The winner of the last agronomy prize was..." Xiang Li was suddenly at a loss for words. The reason why geniuses were geniuses was that they had a photographic memory. However, there was a basic prerequisite for not forgetting, and that was to have a look at it. For things that they had never seen, understood, or heard of, it was impossible for geniuses to know the answer out of thin air. Xiang Li had some knowledge of pure agronomy, but he had never paid attention to the winner of the Nanqing Agronomy Award. "It's teacher Lin Zhengyu, right?" In the almost suffocating silence, Shi Sui casually mentioned a name and then gave a speech that could be called the King of Tea. "Big brother, you're already very outstanding. It's normal for you to have blind spots in your knowledge occasionally. Xiang Li, F***CKU. Chapter 538. Shi Sui, eh? Brother, are you angry? I'm sorry, I didn't do it on purpose. Xiang Li, I didn't. A certain actor tugged at Xiang Yi's sleeve. Sister Yi, brother is angry with me. It's all my fault for affecting brother's mood. Xiang Yi's heart softened. She helped to plead for him. Brother, don't be angry, okay? Shi Sui has a point. Brother, you're too strict with yourself. Even geniuses aren't omniscient and omnipotent. Also, Shi Sui didn't go to university. It's not that he didn't want to, but he couldn't because of his family. It's wrong of him to use this to mock others. Xiang Li, he was so angry, but he had to maintain a smile. Xiang Li, who had successfully suffered a loss, adjusted his glasses with his fingers and felt a little depressed. Forget it, he admitted defeat. He had been careless. He had underestimated Tutu's feelings for this dog of a man. However, Big Brother had not made a move yet. Xiang Li smiled ambiguously and sat down on the sofa in a comfortable position, waiting for Shi Sui to be tortured by Big Brother. As expected, when Sanction hit the last enter key, he looked up and raised his eyebrows slightly at Shi Sui. Long time no see. Do you want to exercise? Xiangyi knew that the exercise Big Brother was talking about was definitely not the kind of exercise in the square. Without thinking, she stood in front of Shi Sui. Brother, he's very delicate. Woo-woo, don't hit him. Hit me instead. Sanction. The others. Only Shi Sui was stunned for a few seconds before he broke into a joyful smile. The feeling of being protected by a little rabbit. It was not bad. Sanction was expressionless. Tutu, come here. The little girl trembled. Brother. Come here. The man's aura was imposing. Not only Xiangyi, but even Xiang Li and the others were a little overwhelmed. Suddenly, Shi Sui held Xiangyi's small hand as if there was no one else around and wrapped it tightly in his palm. I'll go with Sister E. The young girl's doe eyes lit up. Sanction, Xiang Qi secretly complained, does this dog of a man really think we're dead? Xiang Yu, you can't beat him. Xiang Qi, Tisk, that's because I don't want to make a move, you know? Xiang Yu, you can't beat him. Xiang Qi, as long as I get serious, even Big Brother will lose to me. Xiang Yu couldn't be bothered with him and retorted, go ahead if you're so good. Xiang Qi covered his mouth with his finger and coughed twice. Using violence to solve problems is a method that only low-level creatures would use to solve disputes. The next second, Sanction took off his suit jacket and threw it on the armrest of the sofa next to him. His voice was low and mellow, as cold as snow. Tutu, get out of the way. Big Brother, you can't secretly bully him in the name of activities. Xiangyi argued. You're committing the crime of intentional injury. You're wrong, I'm not secretly bullying him. Sanction rolled up his sleeves. I'm openly bullying him. Xiangyi. Shi Sui chuckled. He let go of the little girl's hand and looked at her eyes. Close your eyes. He felt the girl's eyelashes trembling in his palm. He whispered in her ear, let Big Brother vent his anger. I'm fine. I'm already mentally prepared to get beaten up. After all, I abducted their most cherished and beloved little rabbit. Chapter 539. Upon hearing Shi Sui's words, Xiangyi suddenly felt a lump in her throat. Although her vision was in darkness, her hearing was exceptionally sharp. The sound of heavy breathing, footsteps, punches and kicks landing on the body. Every sound was like a drumbeat on her heartstrings. Xiangyi clutched the corner of her clothes tightly. Shi Sui and Sanction did not exchange any unnecessary words. They were equally matched in terms of strength, and it was difficult to determine the winner. Xiang Qi counted himself lucky that he did not make a move. If he made a move, he would definitely be beaten up. After dozens of moves, Shi Sui went easy on him a little, and in the blink of an eye, he was hit a few times. Sanction sensed that something was wrong. He frowned slightly, grabbed Shi Sui's collar, and pinned him against the wall. Bang! A loud sound was heard. He said in a low voice, I don't need you to go easy on me. Shi Sui had taken off his glasses, revealing a pair of upturned eyes. Brother, are you tired? Do you want to rest? His tone was provocative. The veins on Songchen's forehead were throbbing. He was about to continue beating him when he inadvertently caught a glimpse of Xiangyi's face. The young girl clutched the corner of her clothes tightly. Her slender and soft fingers were so tight that her knuckles were pale. Her eyelashes were trembling uncontrollably, and a teardrop rolled down her face unexpectedly. She was crying. Tutu was crying. Sangchen was at a loss of what to do. When she was young, Tutu could not bear any grievances. She would sob non-stop when she cried. However, ever since her parents' accident, she rarely cried. It was as if she had suddenly grown up overnight. If that was the price of growing up, Sangchen hoped that she would never grow up in her lifetime. At this moment, Songchen's heart was really breaking when she cried. He slowly let go of Shi Sui's hand that was shackling him. All of a sudden, all his venting seemed to be meaningless. Following his line of sight, Xiang Li and the others also noticed Xiangyi's tears. The men started to panic. "Sister, don't cry. Little sister, big brother is here. Little rabbit, eat a candy, okay?" The three of them surrounded the young girl and tried to coax her. Sangchen did not step forward. His expression was unreadable. Shi Sui's Adam's apple bobbed. In his eyes, there was only the little girl not far away. All of his schemes and calculations seemed laughable. He advanced step by step. But she had never calculated. Shi Sui licked the corner of his mouth, where he had just been punched by Sangchen, and the pain was still clear. He wanted to get close to her, but he felt that he was not worthy. Xiangyi was originally just a little sad, but after being coaxed by her brothers, she seemed to have lost control of her tear ducts, and her tears fell uncontrollably. She felt embarrassed. She turned around and covered her face with her hands, sobbing softly. The brothers immediately panicked. "Sister, what's wrong? What's wrong?" Xiangyi sobbed. "It's so embarrassing. I'm already so old and I'm still crying like this. How could that be? It's human nature to cry. Yes, yes, yes. In front of us, you can cry if you want. Tutu, in our eyes, you'll always be a willful little kid." Xiangyi finally stopped crying. She looked at Sangchen from afar. Her beautiful doe eyes were moist, and the corners of her eyes were red like a rabbit's. It was as if tears would fall any second. She did not say anything, but it was already more than 1,000 words. How could he bear to let his sister be sad? Songchen's expression changed, and the muscles on his jaw tightened. He glanced at Shi Sui and gritted his teeth. He seemed to be dissatisfied and helpless. "You got off easy." Chapter 540. These words meant that no matter how upset Sangchen felt, he had accepted Shi Sui. Because this was the person Tutu liked. Shi Sui took a deep breath and suppressed the surging emotions in his voice. "I won't let her down. I hope you understand the weight of these words." Songchen's eyes were full of warning. With that, Sangchen walked out of the living room without looking back. He needed to smoke a cigarette to calm down. However, Tutu hated the smell of cigarettes. Xiangyi adjusted her emotions and ran towards Shi Sui. She held the man's large hand and asked, "Does it hurt anywhere? Let me see if it's serious." This scene was an eyesore to the brothers of the Xiang family. However, Xiang Yu had been the head of the family since he was young. Judging from his attitude, he had obviously accepted Shi Sui. Xiang Yu clenched his fists and said seriously, "Brother Shi, you've been the brother I respected since we were young. My sister is the treasure of our family. I hope you can treat her well." Xiang Qi said in a harsh tone, "Sure, I'm telling you, if you let my sister suffer, I won't let you off." Xiang Li wiped his glasses with an alcohol pad. His temperament was refined, but the words he spoke were inexplicably chilling. "You better understand that our family's bunny is definitely not a girl you can treat casually." Shi Sui nodded. "I'll take your words to heart." "What should I do? What should I do when this D*MN man calls me brother?" He suddenly understood why Xiang Yu had gone out. The three of them were silent and left the living room at the same time. They were afraid that if they stayed any longer, they wouldn't be able to resist beating up Shi Sui. Even after they left, Xiangyi was still in a daze and in disbelief. "My brothers agreed to let us be together?" Shi Sui chuckled. "It seems so." Exclamation point. Xiangyi's eyes sparkled. That's great, that's great. Thank you, Sister E, for bringing me to meet my family. And thank you, Sister E, for giving me a status. Hearing this, Xiangyi was a little embarrassed. It's my duty to bring my boyfriend to meet my family. Shi Sui rubbed her soft hair and said apologetically, I'm sorry, Sister E. I'm afraid I can't take you to see my family for the time being. Xiangyi had heard a little about Shi Sui's family situation. Shi Sui was brought up by her father, and the two of them were very close. His master was a famous painter. His attainments in art had reached the point of perfection. He could be called a master. Unfortunately, he had a mental problem and was currently recuperating abroad. Mother Shi worked hard in the business world. She had gone through bankruptcy before, but she had made a comeback. She was a typical career woman. Xiangyu had heard that she had a deep conflict with Shi Sui, but he didn't know the details. It's okay. Let nature take its course. Not only did Xiangyi not take it to heart, she even comforted Shi Sui. Uncle will definitely get better. The two of them were talking when they were suddenly interrupted by a series of footsteps. Oh my God, Sister E, why did you summon all your brothers? Li Jianyu was dancing with excitement. How long have they been in the manor? Xiangyi thought for a moment. They should all be here today. Li Jianyu did an exaggerated slide and rushed in front of Xiangyi. Sister E, did you know? You have a halo on top of your head. The four brothers of the Xiang family were all here. How interesting! How interesting! The guests of other families were making the director worry. A guest like Xiang Yi is really rare. Chapter 541. Not only did they not have to worry, but they also brought along their own guests. Xiangyi, it's okay for them to be on camera, but I don't know if today's guests will mind. Today's guests seem to be very important. The current guests were basically invited before Two Under One Roof became popular, and it took Li Jianyu a lot of effort to invite them. Although it was a live broadcast, Xiangyi was worried that the guests would mind being robbed of the limelight. It's okay, Director Zheng is a very nice person. Shi Sui explained in a gentle voice. He won't mind this. Director Zhang was a TV drama director, and he was the one who directed the drama that made Shi Sui win the Best Actor award. The two of them were very close. That's good, that's good. Li Jianyu was relieved and looked at the time. Seeing that it was about time, he hurriedly said, Director Zhang is probably coming soon, I'll go to the door to greet him. By the way, Daddy Shi, why are you in such a mess? There was also a footprint on the front of Shi Sui's sweater. The man's expression did not change. I'll go change and go with you. He went back to his room. After changing his pants, Shi Sui took off his sweater and casually chose a white shirt from the cloakroom. Just as he was about to put it on, there was a knock on the door. He immediately recognized Xiangyi from the familiar rhythm. His thin lips curled slightly, and he hung the shirt back on the hanger before opening the door. A girl holding a medical kit entered his sight. Xiangyi looked up and saw Shi Sui without a shirt. Her eyes widened, but she still pretended to be calm. Aren't you cold? Shi Sui smiled and asked instead of answering, Do I look good? Xiangyi's face instantly burned. What should I do? She felt that Shi Sui's face was good-looking, his Adam's apple was good-looking, his collarbone was good-looking, and his abdominal muscles were also good-looking. Every part of his body just happened to be on her aesthetic level. The tips of Xiang Yi's ears turned red and she stole a glance at Shi Sui's V-line belt. That's it. Don't let your imagination run wild. I'll check it for you. The man's skin was cold and fair, and his thin layer of muscles were toned and strong. He did not look weak. A few bruises were particularly conspicuous. Xiangyi pressed a few times and asked Shi Sui how she felt. After confirming that his bones weren't injured, the young lady heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed that Big Brother still had a sense of propriety. She looked up and met Shi Sui's eyes, which were as dark as the abyss. Her heart skipped a beat. Do you like it? She heard Shi Sui ask in a hoarse voice. Xiangyi's ears turned even redder. She stuffed the medical kit into his hands and said, apply some ointment or paste some ointment on yourself. How can a boy be so casual? You have to protect yourself when you're outside. Don't wear such revealing clothes. Shi Sui chuckled. Sister E, are you afraid that others will take advantage of me? Xiangyi said seriously, it's hard to fathom a person's heart. It's hard to guarantee that there are bad guys out there. Schwa, her little hand was suddenly pulled and pressed against the part of his body that was called famous abdominal muscles by fans. Xiangyi said shyly, don't do this. You feel like I'm taking advantage of you. You're the only one who's taking advantage of me, okay? That last syllable of his was enough to make one go limp. Xiangyi. She pulled a long face and said in an extremely serious tone. Shi Sui, I have a secret to tell you. I think there's a bad person living in my heart. It wants to do bad things to you. Shi Sui raised his eyebrows. Xiangyi promised, don't worry, I'll kill it. Before she could finish her sentence, a pair of warm hands touched the back of her neck. The man's breathing was heavy. Sister E, do you want to do whatever you want for once? You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.